My background as an artist is, firstly, I did my fine art degree at Reading University in 1990 to 1994, where I studied painting, fine art. And after that, I practiced as an artist independently for about a year and studied art therapy at Goldsmiths. Decision making in which way I was going to go. I worked as an artist in residence in 2 schools, and then that led me on to taking my teacher training, PGCE at Reading University, and then I began teaching full time as a secondary school art teacher, which I did up until 2013. After that, I took my master's at with the Open College of Arts, and I practiced my own art again with other people, but it was an online MA, so we were all from all over the world. So it was an interesting setup. We met for our final exhibition in Barnsley. We had that. So after that, I have continued to practice my art and teach as well, but mainly sort of teaching adults. As far as my upbringing goes, I always drew as a child and felt that I wanted to be an artist, and that was just something that was really strong in me, and I just always knew that was what I wanted to do. My biggest influences in terms of artists are probably Eva Hesse with her sculpture work, and Louise Bourgeois as well with her sculpture work. I have made sculptures in the past and used materials similar to the ones that they have used. My main sort of artists that I look to tend to be female artists, and that's just, I think there are common threads that run through more feminist art, sort of certain imageries that we see, and symbols as well. My own practice is focusing on looking at the human cochlea, because I lost my hearing in my right ear 5 years ago, and this has really influenced my practice and also changed my life quite a lot, in that I now teach less and focus more on my art practice. That the interests that I have are between science and art, so I really sort of am looking at the spiral form of the cochlea and the ambiguity between the inside and the outside. So these boundaries that the body have is a long-term interest in my work, and I've refined it now to looking at the human ear and how it's very hard to image it as a scientist. They're developing new techniques to look at and image the human cochlea, and so that's what I'm researching and looking at present. The biggest challenge, I would say, is definitely just to keep going and believe in yourself. The financial constraints as well. Obviously, I teach, so I can do that as well. Being just, if I was to give advice to my younger self, is don't give up and believe in yourself always. In terms of mediums and techniques, I mentioned earlier Eva Hesse's sculptures. I've used in the past latex and resin and white metal in my sculptures. Now I'm focusing more on perspex, so I'm working onto perspex, so it's a flat surface, but it's a 3-dimensional material, and I'm using acrylic paint pens onto that. So when I'm working, the main, I tend to have, now that I've lost my hearing because I suffer from tinnitus, some background music. And that helps to mask the sounds that I hear. As far as the best reaction someone's had to my work is definitely someone buying it, because then you feel someone wants to put it in their home, they want to live with the work, and appreciate it in that way. Obviously, if someone comments on Instagram as well, or in real life, they sort of say that there's certain elements they like about my work and they resonate with it, then that's great. I really hope people enjoy looking at my artwork and engage and learn from it as well. I mean, there's now this sort of added element of the fact that I've lost my hearing, which makes me really sort of more conscious of that as a condition, deafness and hearing loss. And I think it's something that if I can bring more awareness through my art of that and the scientific sort of background to it, the imaging, as I've said, then that would be great. The only upcoming exhibition that I have is with a small drawing that's being exhibited in London at the Gallery Different. It's part of a charity called A Letter in Mind, the National Brain Appeal fundraiser. And the pieces were all made on envelopes, and they're going to be sold via the charity's online gallery. And the theme is called Changing Perspectives. So if you are interested in my work, my main place where I put new images as often as possible is on Instagram, where it's Jennifer Ault Art. I also write quite a bit on my WordPress blog, which is jennifer991wordpress.com. So, as I said, the main content of my work is exploring the form of the cochlea and how difficult it is to image. Okay, thank you.